Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the Scion project here. This is not episode 3 by any means. We have a lot to go. Episode 3 will probably come out sometime in August when we start thrashing on the cage that's gonna go in this. We're gonna roll cage it. We've got some cuts here that are pretty detrimental to the whole structure that we need to tie back together. And so we were able to, you may have saw it on Instagram, but YouTube, this is the YouTube update. We were able to slip the cab pretty much over the YXZ pretty seamlessly. We're sitting roughly 4 inches higher than it needs to be. This sill right here should be about here. So if you can visualize that, we can't get it to go down any further because the YXZ A pillar and the B pillar is too wide. So we need to cut those 2 cross members and ratchet strap it together and retie those in to squeeze the YXZ chassis down a little bit so that we can slide this thing down a little bit further, get the flange on there, and then bolt it to the bottom. And then once that happens, we'll be ready to go to Garrett with Corrosive Design, who stepped up to help us with the interior cage here. Nick also, from the episodes that you saw earlier on this, Nick's gonna be over there helping Garrett get this cage on. So those are a couple of the things that we need to do to this. We've got this node right here. This node right here is fully cut off. So the front suspension is pretty much disconnected from the car except for the bulkhead bottom area. So this node has to get all refabricated. We're going to go ahead and strengthen this area here at the shock mounts. We have PRP on board for some special seats for this thing. They'll be, I guess, all-American Sender style PRP seats. You'll see those, they're on order, and it's gonna be a couple more weeks before we get those. We actually need those soon so that we can put them in the car and see kind of where that, when we drop this thing down 4 inches, where those seats are gonna be sitting and how I'm gonna be sitting in those seats for my headroom and stuff like that. So we actually need to get those anyways. So I wanted to give you guys a little update because it's gonna be a few weeks before we get back on this thing. We're going to the Midwest Dirt Fest with the truck. The truck's gotten prepped and we took it testing. Everything went pretty good. We have maybe one thing to inspect to see what's going on there. But we're gonna be going to Midwest Dirt Fest this Monday, the 15th, and then we'll be out in Michigan for a couple of weeks. And then that's what's gonna kind of keep this thing on hold for a little bit. There's not gonna be a lot going on. But I wanted to get on YouTube and let you guys know that I'm not just abandoning the project. It's still a live project. We have things to do in order to get it to the point where we can do another episode. Right now, it does look pretty cool. I can kind of visualize how everything's gonna go. One of the things we're gonna do is the radiator is mounted right here, and it had a scoop on it, and it got airflow in through the windshield of the YXZ, or the front window of the YXZ. But now that we're gonna have a windshield, we're not gonna get any airflow to this, and we're also gonna be, the B pillar will be completely cut off from the motor and the trans. At the B pillar, we'll have sheet metal that goes up to the roof, so this thing will be fully paneled in here. So it'll just be a 2-seater, paneled in, and then what we're gonna do is take the scoop from this, maybe I can actually do it here. This radiator scoop from the Yamaha, we're going to relocate this probably somewhere in here. Might have to make it a little low pro and cut it down a little bit, but we'll have a hole in the roof and we're gonna scoop air off the top and channel it down through the radiator. So it's gonna have some weird sick roof scoop for the air. I don't know how it's gonna sit. We'll have to see how it's gonna sit when we get into it, but it'll be cut out in the roof. We might paint this to color match this, I don't know. But it should be pretty sick with a little roof scoop on it. One of the other things we have to do is the rear shocks are the same as the front shocks. So we've got all this material cut out. These shocks are kind of floating. This is cut out. So and this is resting directly on there. We can't cut much more of this. We can probably get another inch out of here. but we're probably gonna have to drop this. We have room to drop it on this bracket here. So we can drop this exhaust and get it to spit out maybe somewhere in here. And then that way we can drop this thing down a little bit more. We wanna try to get it as low as possible and still have headroom, because we don't want it to look lifted like a 4x4 truck. We want it to look low like a pre-runner or a rally car. So that's kind of the goal. We haven't hit too many problems except for, you know, the YXZ chassis not being narrow enough. But other than that, we're gonna have a little bit of an issue. We're gonna also try to pull this back as far as we can. We've got, obviously these rear tires are sticking out, which is gonna look a little bit weird. We're gonna try to get this thing back to the point where we can still clear the front tires. We'll get it as far back as we can to make this not look so weird. This is the weirdest part of this transition from the stock Scion to the YXZ. This is gonna be the weirdest situation. When you look at a profile view of the car, these rear tires stick out too far. So I don't know how far we're gonna be able to get it back, maybe 2-3 inches. It'll still be somewhere in here maybe. And then we got this big plastic bumper from the Scion that hopefully we don't have to trim too much. I don't wanna do too much trimming because I still want it to look stock. And that's the same with the front end. Originally we were gonna have like a tube bumper, like all the way up here, and do something like that where there's a tube bumper here. But I don't wanna really expose all the A-arms and stuff. I'd like to have that front clip from the Scion actually come down and cover all that, because I want it to look like a sleeper in semi-stock. We might, you know, take a few diggers and mess up the plastic or something, but we'll figure something out to where it kind of hides maybe half the A-arms or something in here. This is coming off and we'll be building off of here. And so you can kind of visualize it now. I just wanted to get on here and show you guys that we're not abandoning it. We would like to continue to move forward, but we just have some things that we're doing outside of this project. Obviously, we have flight school coming up August 1st. Look for that on YouTube. We've got the Midwest Dirt Fest we're going to, so we're gonna get some footage out there of the track and maybe hitting the dunes as well out there in Michigan. So with all those things going on, we're still gonna get this ready. Hopefully we're shooting for Halloween. So season opener out in Ocotillo Wells with this thing. Halloween, take this thing out. Hopefully it's ready to rip, and go out in Ocotillo and see what this thing can do after all the mods and everything. Hopefully we'll have it all buttoned up and ready to go. So look for that around Halloween. If not Halloween, then Thanksgiving, but there's not that much left on it. So thank you guys for paying attention to this build. It's a pretty cool little build. It's not as gnarly as the truck, but I still think it's cool. So keep watching and look for flight school August 1st. That one's gonna be definitely something you wanna watch. Maybe the Scion stuff is like too much talking and not enough action, but I can guarantee you that flight school is not too much talking and there's a lot of action. So tune into that for sure. But that's pretty much it for the Scion update. Keep watching and stay tuned.